era of the Marines is over. Sakazuki has officially been banned. Well, not now, at least until 1st of April alongside 2 other cards. But during the Worlds Finals, they announced the banning of 3 different cards. Sakazuki, OP06 Reject, as well as ST06 Great Eruption. Now, before you ask any questions, right now the ban list only affects those in Asia. We are not sure what's gonna happen on the English side of things. It may be reflected as the same, so we gotta wait for more information before we find out. But for now, we can safely say the era of Sakazuki is finally over. Alright, so here's a little recap about what went down in the World Championship event. The top 16, or at least 16 players that were present at the World Finals. Let's break down the deck, shall we? So, of course, we got 1 Red Zoro. That's perfectly fine. We got 2 Purple Luffys. We got 2 NO players. And we have 11 Blue-Black Sakazuki. Now, mind you that this tournament was in the OP05 format so that it was fair between the English playing folks and the Japanese playing folks. But 11 Sakazukis. And the top 4 from Malaysia, from Europe, from North America, as well as Japan. All of them were Sakazuki. The top 4 decks were Sakazuki. So inherently, this leader is a problem, which is why they decided to ban it. Shout out to TCG Touch for translating it and posting it on his Twitter. So from April 1st, 2024, which is kind of apt of the date, I'm still kind of deciding if this is a whole joke, but the following cards will be added to the list of banned cards that cannot be included in your deck. So Sakazuki, the leader himself, is being banned, and we'll talk about Sakazuki more after we talk about the first 2 cards. But we got Reject, not Elimination, Reject from OP06 and ST06 Great Eruption. Great Eruptions is the one that's being seeing play in Sakazuki the most, and yeah, it's a great card. But let's talk about the 2 cards first before we talk about the leader. So Reject. Reject's a really powerful event card. First of all, it's a 4-cost event card from OP06 with 2 abilities. You can choose one. First, its main KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Or if your opponent has 1 life card, deal 1 damage to your opponent, then add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. So you can, this card is immediately just get rid of 1 of your life to get rid of 1 of your opponent's life. And usually you play this at the end where your opponent's down to like 1 life, you're down to 1 life. But you use Reject for 4 dons, you can immediately get rid of that last life and then just go for game that way. It's also a really good form of removal at the start, and it's just a really powerful card, especially in NL decks, especially in any deck actually playing yellow. Katakuri lists have been playing Reject as well because it's just really powerful, and it's a great way to get your opponent down to 0 and then making sure you get enough to get over their blockers with the 2-cost Amaru, resting the 4-cost blockers and going in for the kill. So you don't have to worry about getting your opponent down to 0. You just have to worry about getting your opponent down to 1. And then Reject takes care of the last life. Really, really powerful card. I wasn't expecting Reject to be banned, maybe restricted but not banned outright. It is a powerful card for sure. But I do feel like other cards should have been hit other than Reject, but I understand why it got hit. I understand why it got banned, because if Sakazuki's era is over, this might be one of the cards that actually is super powerful in the upcoming format. So for now, we give this a pass. Let's talk about Great Eruption, the 1-cost event card that says draw 1 card, then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. The trigger ability is your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and treasures it. This is an amazingly powerful card because of its efficiency, especially in Sakazuki. You can just use it as a 1-cost draw card, which is great, but most of the time you're chaining this, you're drawing 1 and then you're chaining this to -2 something on your opponent's side of the field to kind of set up your Rob Lucci play, or the Rebecca into Rob Lucci play is what we see during the World Championship event, or like the Hound Blaze play where you can bottom deck something that's 2 costs, or the Barcelino play. It just works efficiently in that deck because it's just super powerful. And the very efficient card. If it was draw 1 card, give something -1, maybe this card would have stuck around. But if draw 1, give something -2, then maybe it's a little bit too efficient to use, especially in a Sakazuki deck. So I understand why Great Eruption got hit, more so than Reject. Reject, I thought like it could be restricted. It didn't need to be outright banned. Great Eruption, I understand the ban. I completely agree with this. I think this is not, this is too good of a card to kind of just stay around. Whether it's on the same level as both, it's a different thing, but it's it's still a really powerful card, and I'm glad they banned this straight up. And now let's talk about Sakazuki as the leader, the blue-black Sakazuki. I had a conversation with YT Noah channel before, and we're talking about what constitutes as the perfect leader. I was saying that Katakuri was a perfect leader, being able to swing for 7k, being able to get information by looking at your opponent's life. That's one thing. But the truth of the matter is Sakazuki is indeed the perfect leader. First of all, you have colors of blue and black. Black has cost reducing mechanics that can affect your opponent's, the cost of your opponent's characters, and then blue has bottom deck mechanics that can bottom deck certain characters. The removal is super strong for characters that have X or less. So most of it, like for example, Blaze Hound or Hound Blaze, it's 2 costs or less. And then you can use the black side of things to reduce the effects, like for example what we spoke about, which was Great Eruption. With Great Eruption to -2, for example 4-cost Borsalino, and then you can use Hound Blaze to boost this guy or a brand new by 3k, bottom deck it to the bottom of the deck, and then swing in. So that's, I'm just talking about the color street. The color pairing of blue and black is incredible. It's great. And then you have 2 almost free abilities. First of all, activate main once per turn. You trash 1 card from your hand, and then you draw 1 card, which is kind of, it's free. You can cycle through your deck once every turn with Sakazuki's ability. And isn't that something? And you are still running brand new as a searcher. Some lists now run TCG as a searcher as well. So you have so much filtering of your deck that this is super, super powerful. If that was just it alone, I think it would still have been a really powerful leader. But on top of that, you have when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters a -1 cost during the turn. And that, my friends, is why Sakazuki actually needed this ban. I wasn't expecting them to hit leaders. I was kind of hoping for it a little bit, but it happened. Okay, so they are hitting Sakazuki, and I, for one, am completely on board with this. Yes, Sakazuki is a very skill-intensive deck. It brings out the best in players. It is a very sequential deck, and you have to play it properly. The reason why I agree with the ban is because once Sakazuki exists, every blue and black base deck doesn't seem worth to play anymore, because you might as well just play Sakazuki. For example, the new Boa Hancock from OPU7. People are hyped to play it, but when you play it, it's not as strong as Sakazuki. You can play the OPU6 Gecko Moria. It's really, really powerful, especially with the Super Rare Moria. But it's still not as strong as Sakazuki. That's the thing. Sakazuki as a leader naturally checks the rest of the metagame, because on its own, it's just really, really freaking good. And that, my friends, is the problem, because we want a healthier metagame. And by healthier, I mean a wider array of leaders trying to vie for that, tier 1 to 2 slot, the Bonnies of the world, the Boa Hancocks of the world, Foxy for all that matter. Like, if I am always constantly playing a player that's playing Sakazuki, why would I bring this lower tier decks to try out when I know I'm just gonna lose? So that doesn't make for a really healthy metagame. So I, for one, 100% agree with this ban list for the leader. You may disagree with me, and I feel free to kind of roast me in the comment section below. I have seen a lot of these oppressive type leaders, not only in One Piece card game, this oppressive type cards in like other TCGs as well. And I've agreed with those bannings then. I agree with the bannings now. Yeah, the only thing I didn't agree 100% with was reject, because I thought it could have been restricted, not straight up banned. But I get it. Maybe they didn't want to make yellow too powerful now that Sakazuki himself is banned. Before I move on, I already said my thoughts about Sakazuki. I think I agree with the banning. They reprinted a new Sakazuki to kind of replace the one that they banned. So I'm going to refer to Vampire Gaming's post. Yeah, it's activate main once per turn. You may discard 1 card from your hand with the type of Navy. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost for the turn. So you don't get your cycle anymore. You actually have to discard specifically a Navy type card to give something -1. Which makes it 100 times worse. This is not a great leader now, but it kind of balances a little bit. I guess you could still play it, and you could still run your Rebecca's. It just won't be as powerful because you have to give specifically a Navy type card as a discard, which is not the issue here. You lose the cycle. That's the issue. You lose the cycle ability of Sakazuki and make him a little bit weaker because you don't get to draw as much as possible. So, yeah, this is I don't know if anyone's gonna play the new Saka leader. I think this is just like, you know, oh, I'm sorry for making this leader a little bit too powerful. Here's one that's not as powerful, but it's the same colors and it's the same name. Sakazuki fans, I hope you're okay. You know, that's how I feel. But yeah, it's crazy that this has to happen, but I 100% agree with the leader ban list. I do not like. I'm a Sakazuki hater, so that's perfectly fine. But in my unbiased opinion, I feel like having a leader that can cycle every turn and an ability of -1 cost, both free abilities, is just too powerful for the game. And I am, you know, if the banning of Sakazuki leads to Katakuri decks or Eno decks being like top #1, I 100% welcome the banning of 10 cost Mom. I'm gonna say that first. If because of Sakazuki's ban, Katakuri becomes a tier 1 deck, sure, go ahead, ban 10 cost Mom. I don't think that's gonna happen because with Sakazuki gone, you know what's coming back? Red Green Law. Zoro is coming back, and that's gonna naturally check yellow. Yellow's gonna lose to those. Eno's not going to lose to Zoro, but Katakuri will lose to Zoro and Red Green Law. And yeah, they don't have to worry about Sakazuki anymore, so they get the chance to shine. So I'm gonna, yeah, don't come at me with, oh, if Sakazuki's ban, Yellow's gonna be oppressive. Let's just wait to see if that happens first before we kind of come into that conclusion. I don't think that's going to happen. That's why I agree with this ban list. So what do you guys think? Is this a good decision to ban these 3 cards from the OPTCG metagame for the Asia ones? I assume that once OP06 is out for English, they're probably just going to ban reject straight out. But yeah, let me know what you think. Is this a good ban list? Is this a bad ban list? Is Sakazuki, you know, do we need justice for Sakazuki? Or are we okay with just throwing him in the trash? Because right now, sell your alternate arts because it's going to be dirt cheap. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below. I'm curious to know what the community thinks. What a great worlds, guys. What a great worlds. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next year's worlds. Time to train up. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.